Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I want you to take a deep breath and just get relaxed, settled in. Enjoy the next 25 to 30 minutes. I'm going to be talking about how to protect yourself against negative influences. If you've read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about there are 6 basic ghosts of fear, 6 things that most people are deathly afraid of. And it's so funny that the fear of criticism, most people are so afraid of what other people are going to think or say or do that they hold themselves back from doing what they really want. And it is the fear of criticism, it's the fear of speaking in public that will cause most people to shrink. More people are afraid of public speaking than they are of death. Death is one of the 6 ghosts of fear, one of the things that people are most afraid of. They're afraid of poverty, they're afraid of criticism, of ill health, they're afraid to lose the love of someone that they really love, they're afraid of death and of old age. They're afraid of getting sick. They're afraid of getting cancer or the pandemic or whatever is going around. But Napoleon Hill suggests that we protect ourselves against these negative influences. And to protect yourself against any negative influences, it doesn't matter whether it's coming from your own mind or your own behavior or the result or activities of negative people around you. Recognize that you have a will. You can put it into constant use until it builds a wall of immunity against negative influences in your own mind. We end up going from thing to thing, trying to multitask. We're susceptible to the suggestions of outside influences. And Napoleon Hill says, recognize that you are by nature susceptible to all the 6 basic fears. And recognize that negative influences often work on you through your subconscious mind. Therefore, they're difficult to detect. And he suggests that we keep our mind closed against all people who depress or discourage us in any way. Deliberately seek the company of people who influence you to think and act for yourself. Do not expect troubles because they have a tendency not to disappoint. Without a doubt, the most common weakness of all human beings is the habit of leaving their minds open to the negative influence of other people. And this weakness is even more damaging because most people do not recognize that they're running their lives by it. Napoleon Hill suggests we're cursed by it. And many who acknowledge it neglect or refuse to correct the evil until it becomes an uncontrollable part of their daily habits. So he suggests that we analyze what's going on in our mind, and are we controlled? How do we know if we're afraid of criticism, afraid of ill health, afraid of poverty, afraid of losing the love of someone, afraid of old age, or afraid of death? Well, in the book Think and Grow Rich, he talks about outwitting the 6 ghosts of fear and first coming to acknowledge what's in your mind. Are you often complaining of feeling bad? Do you find fault with other people? Are you sarcastic or offensive in your conversation? Do you like your occupation? If not, why not? Do you feel self-pity? Are you envious of those who excel you? Are you gaining or losing self-confidence as you grow older? Well, he suggests if we answer these questions truthfully, if we really are truthful with ourselves, we know more about ourselves than the majority of people. He suggests coming back and seeking the counsel of those who know you well. Now, sometimes you think you're going along pretty well and you don't realize that maybe some of the things you say are hurtful or neglectful, or maybe instead of analyzing all your mistakes and failures, look at them as lessons, building up your strengths instead of focusing on your weaknesses, spending less time with people who have a negative influence over you, and start to look at you have spiritual forces all around you, and there is a power flowing to and through you that can keep your mind free from all forms of fear. Instead of focusing on everything that's going wrong, what if we start to point our mind in the direction of what we would truly love and use that will that we've been gifted with to hold an image on the screen of our mind? We have absolute control over one thing, and that is our thoughts. Napoleon Hill says this is the most significant and inspiring of all facts known to mankind. It reflects your divine nature. This divine prerogative is the sole means by which you may control your own destiny. If you fail to control your own mind, you may be sure you will control nothing else. If you must be careless with your possessions, let it be in connection with material things. But your mind is your spiritual estate. Protect and use it with the care to which divine royalty is entitled. You were given willpower for this purpose. How do we get rid of the negative influences of others and start to focus on what we want? Well, I'm going to interrupt with a quick commercial. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a lunch and learn. It's free to join in. It won't be on this YouTube channel. I have a specific link just for this webinar. So you can use that link or go to transformationalchange.ca and sign up so I can send you the link, and come in and join me live on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for a 1-hour lunch and learn to go from stuck to unstoppable. Learn to break free from the negative influences and to create powerful forward momentum towards your dream. So the important thing is to decide what you really want and not look at When the kids are grown and gone, then I could look after that. When I have enough money, maybe you're doing what I used to do, try and work harder and harder, working overtime, taking on extra jobs, taking on extra responsibilities. Pretty soon you're so worn out, you might end up getting sick or dying before you accomplish anything that you really want, because even machines need maintenance, they need care, they need a tune-up. Your human body needs rest, it needs relaxation, it needs time for leisure and fun. You need time to think about, what is your life's purpose? Are you having fun? What do you love about your life? Don't wait for later. We have no idea how much time we have on this earth. You could be healthy and going along, either loving life or struggling against it, and your life is snuffed out. You have no idea. People die every single day, unexpectedly. If you want to have some fun in this lifetime, experience fun and joy, you have to put yourself in a place of, what do I really want? Napoleon Hill tells us that mind control is the result of self-discipline and habit. You either control your mind or it controls you. There's no halfway compromise. The most practical of all methods for controlling the mind is the habit of keeping it busy with a definite purpose, backed by a definite plan. If you study the record of any person who achieves noteworthy success, you will observe that they have had control over their own mind, and that they exercise that control and direct it toward the attainment of definite objectives. Without this control, success is not possible. So instead of just going along, working to earn money to pay the bills, to buy groceries, to try and get out of debt, why not think about what it would be like if you didn't have to worry about money, if you didn't have to plan a week or two every year just to relax and catch up on sleep? How would you be living if you loved your life? A really important, one of the most important things that you can do in your day is to take the time to block out your five senses, to sit quietly, to daydream, to get yourself into a wonderful vibrational energy, and to set a goal, a purpose, a vision for your life. Well, if you have a vision for your life, then your goal could be getting to the next step and the next step and the next step, so that your vision actually reveals itself to you. You start to live your beautiful vision because you've taken the time to get clear on what it looks like. What does it look like? What does it feel like? You're healthy, you're happy, you're loving life. Now, some people have a vision of toes in the sand, just laying on a beach chair looking out at the ocean. Well, that can get boring after a few months or weeks or days or even hours. What gets you excited? What rejuvenates you? What are you passionate about? There are people who are passionate about making sure everyone in the world has justice, has enough food, feels worthy of being loved. When you have a vision, you're going after something bigger than you. You don't have to worry about what negative people say. You don't have to worry about what your family and friends say, because you know where you're going. You know what's important to you. It doesn't matter what other people's opinions are. You have an opinion. Why do you allow other people's opinions to affect your vision for your best life? Only you know what you truly desire. Parents and grandparents, people of authority, society, everyone is working from their own level of awareness, from what they grew up learning. And the world is changing faster and faster and faster. The world that we live in now is not the same as it was yesterday. It's not the same world as what you were born into. And it's certainly not the same world that your great-grandparents were born into. So we don't have to play by their rules. Their rules are, look around, everything that's here is already reality. Put away your daydreams. But we wouldn't be flying if the Wright brothers didn't have a vision of flight. Our world has totally changed because Thomas Edison had the idea of lighting up a room, and now the whole world is lit up. Because he tried and tried and tried, estimated to be 10,000 times. So if you've got a beautiful vision, a goal, a dream, and maybe you've stepped out and tried something and you were criticized, don't go running back to the comfort zone, to the safety of ho-hum mediocrity. Get clear on where you're going. Get excited about it. The picture in your mind, nobody else has that picture. That means you're the person to bring it into reality. How do you feel about this vision? You have a goal to serve others with purposeful work, knowing that you can bring to the world something that is not yet here, that's frustrating people. How would it look to be able to run your business the way you want to be running it and serve people to change their lives? You're doing it out of a love and passion for what you offer. You are totally unique. You are a divine spiritual being in an individual body. This body is an instrument of your mind. Your body is going to do whatever you think, and more importantly, what your subconscious is running. We become what we think about all day long. So what are you telling yourself? The subconscious mind is always reflecting back to you, showing you your deep, dark desires, your deep, dark secrets. Your subconscious mind is always reflecting back to you, showing you where your thoughts have been going. What you repeat with emotion starts the energy in motion. Visualize yourself being healthy, happy, joyful, peaceful, calmly anticipating the wealth that's flowing into your bank account. Think about this. I am what I say I am. Your subconscious mind is always listening. So if you want to change your outside world, you have to start with, what are you saying you are? Become consciously aware and get a picture of what you truly desire, so that in your mind, you start thinking thoughts of visualizing the end goal, a dream life, the way you want to be living, and start to become consciously aware. Train your mind. Your brain has cells of recognition for things that you've already seen in your life. You recognize, if I say, what does your car look like? What does your refrigerator look like? What does your bedroom look like? You have cells of recognition for these things, these items, these material objects that were once fantasies. Henry Ford was criticized and told his inventions were ugly and nobody would ever pay to travel in that kind of contraption. How different would our world be if Henry Ford listened to the criticism of his closest friends and his co-workers and his staff, telling him nobody's ever going to buy cars. You've been talked out of all kinds of things, but Henry Ford had an idea. He drew pictures and he got people to put physical objects together till they created the initial version of a vehicle. He held on to that dream. You have cells of recognition in your mind for a vision that you truly want. It starts to become familiar when you focus on it. When you start to say, I am healthy, I am happy, I am so proud of my work. Look at what I brought to life. Look at what I invented. Look at what I did. Look at what I created. It started with an idea that I had. I visualized it. I added emotion, and that energy in motion started to put things together. And now, look at the home I created. Look at the business I created. Look at the life I've created. I am what I say I am. What picture do you have in your mind that you want to bring into physical reality? Because everything in your physical reality you've already done, you've already thought about. Your mind already has cells of recognition. So if you want to bring something new, you have to think it, feel it, and start taking action toward that. What would you love to bring to physical reality? Write it down. Write a goal on a card. You could use a recipe card, a sticky note, a goal card, or write in your journal. And write it as if it's already here, because your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between hard physical current reality and what's going on in your mind. Your subconscious mind thinks it's all the same. So it shows you evidence of what you're thinking about, what you've been focused on. You want to stop focusing on fear and anxiety and depression and worry and poverty. And you want to start directing your mind to health, happiness, well-being, peace, joy, calm, wealth. Your entire life flows in the direction of your thoughts. Let's get our thoughts flowing in the direction of what we truly desire. And that means taking the time to block out the current reality. What you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch is only the physical reality because it's brought into physical reality. People getting an idea, a thought, a fantasy, working toward making it happen. Building bridges, building houses, building cars, building airplanes, building cell phones, putting together books, computers, inventing paper out of trees. What could you invent? What could you decide to do? What would you love? In your mind, get so clear on that vision that your subconscious mind must show you ideas. It must bring into your conscious awareness plans of how to get there. And then you follow that plan, and pretty soon you're living what you dreamed about. Just like today, you are living what you thought about 5 years ago. Put your energy, your thought energy into motion and write down a beautiful vision of what you want, what your future will be. Start getting into the vibrational energy, the emotion of what it's like now, so that your entire being starts to move in that direction. And you magnetize yourself to everything that you need to put it all together. Start to think and feel and act your vision into reality. What is the vision that you want for your life? What goal would you love? Write it down. Practice thinking about it, writing about it. And as you get ideas, write those down and start taking action on them so that you can create that beautiful picture in your mind. That's how it works. Think, feel, and act as if your goal is already here. And pretty soon it turns into hard physical reality. That's how everything becomes physical matter. What matters to you? Bring it into physical matter. Create a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Take the time to visualize, to write down what you want, to feel as if it's really happening. And don't forget to register for Stuck to Unstoppable. And I'll give you some more tips, tools, and strategies to guide you to your vision. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Have a wonderful day.